Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justin, and this is an all-tech dream. And if that fancy intro doesn't say anything, this is pretty much what I've been planning to do for a while. This whole February starting point is for this crazy nonsense. A whole thing dedicated to technology and that type of stuff. And what better way to represent that technology than by starting out with a rather plain little device. Yeah. So what is even going on here? Well, if I zoom in here, this is a Toshiba, please focus. This is a Toshiba Satellite 2505 CDS. It's not a very complicated little device. If we take a quick look around, we may as well do that while we can. It's got a little power switch with this cute little door to protect it, because this was the era of the ACPI shutdown method, so an easy tap to run type of situation. Your audio ports, a audio slider, that's a fascinating one, just a dial wheel. Floppy disk drive, as well as a CD-ROM drive, and fascinatingly, this PCMCI port, which, ooh, what's in here? Oh, Zircon 10100. That can be helpful for later. Not right now, though. That's a contrast dial, as well as a lock that functions as Kensington, but also is meant to block your... It's meant to block your friggin' PCMCI ports. I kind of don't understand that, but, you know, I didn't make any of them, so I don't know. And around back, you're not going to find that much of anything. You got power jack, PS2 rather. Apparently a cross-compatible mouse and keyboard port, so you could in fact have an external keyboard if you felt like it, though, as we'll see, you'd probably want the mouse. USB jack, which has a door on it, has more problems than you might think. An infrared port that is awful. Just awful. Don't even think about it. Then we got serial parallel display, VGA based. All pretty simple stuff. Here's a cooling fan. And around on the inside, you can't say that much about it. Yeah, it's not too much to speak of. I don't really have measurements. So, of course, what kind of specs are we looking at? Well, we're looking at a Pentium MMX processor with 233 megahertz speed. It does technically have an Android coprocessor. It has a cache of 32 kilobytes, along with some L2 cache up to 512 kilobytes. Now, it usually comes with 32 megabytes of RAM. I've actually been able to bump that up to 96 strange intervals because the 32 megabytes is actually soldered onto the board. There's an extra port, though, for an extra DIMM, and you can throw a 128 megabyte RAM DIMM into that, so you can have 160 megabytes of RAM on this machine. Kinda can do some 3D graphics, can do some 2D graphics, can do a lot of things, has quite a few resolutions supported. One thing you'll notice is the AcuPoint. Not really the best little track point. In fact, this one technically doesn't belong to this. Where did I pull this from? Oh, that's right. I pulled that. Yeah. This little nub I pulled from a HP device that I'm going to look at some point. Don't you worry. Got a story on that one, frankly. Yeah, it's pretty much a all set in stone type of machine. Yeah, today's video gets a little interesting because of how we're going to pull off getting this thing going. So previously I tried to install Windows 95, as you might have seen in my VR chat clip. Yeah, I had the decision that Windows 95 would be perfect on this machine, and while I feel like I'm still kind of right, as it turns out, it's just There's no driver set up for the Satellite to work with Windows 95, which is weird because the documentation talks about using Windows 95 on certain applications. So I don't know what's going on there. So regardless of what I'd like to do, the unfortunate choice is I'm going to have to install Windows 98 once again. This is exactly the same one, I think. I might have used a slightly different version. I think this is the same one that I used to install my IBM's version of Windows 98. Not that it matters, it doesn't seem like there's any type of conflicts using the same CD key, so not a big deal. But this video is going to be a little more complicated, and it's for a pretty good reason that you're going to see in a second. So how exactly are we going to pull off all the stuff that we want to do? What we're going to need to pull this off is, of course, the first thing that's always important when you're trying to work with a laptop of some type, a power adapter. What in God's name happened? Why did I put that on it? Ugh. There we go, that's better. But more so than that, we're going to need some way to transfer things like drivers over to this device. You might have noticed all the ways in which I can do that. You know, floppy disk, CD, I've got the USB, of course, and the friggin' awful infrared. Here's the problem with all of those, though. Infrared is terrible, like I said, so we're not even going to be bothering with that. More so than that, I don't have any floppies containing the drivers for this device of any type, and I'm not going to waste an entire CD-ROM for what amounts to about 40 megabytes of drivers. And I can't use USB because Windows 98 just doesn't have the support for mass storage devices when you're starting it up, so your only real choice is to find a way through an external solution called InUSB33E. It's just a simple third-party driver that helps give Windows 98 all the mass storage support it needs so that you can use it for somewhat modern, conventional tasks. So my solution is fairly simple. Something that Windows 98 just knows how to work with. So what even is this thing? Well, it's actually a very neat little device, and something that I've now been able to take advantage of through things like this. If that name doesn't ring a bell, I don't know what does. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. This is an Iomega Clik drive. 40 Clik drive. Along with, of course, 2 Clik discs. And to perfect everything, the Iomega Clik, the CD-ROM. We need this because the drivers that I have were perfect, pretty much, for one of these Clik drives, and, of course, Windows 98 has pretty good compatibility with the Iomegaware software and, of course, the Clik drive itself. So, let's get started here. Damn it. Fucking thing sucks. Yeah, we got light, baby. Now, attempting to achieve a good camera angle for this screen is not the best, and there's a good reason that I'll get to explaining in a little bit, but let's see what's happening when we power the device on. Oh, that doesn't look awful. What is that? What? What? I swear to God, I thought I installed Windows 95 on this thing. Yeah. Well, it just works. Kinda. I thought I would have to fight drivers and whatnot, but apparently not. Also, my white balance is now ruined. Ugh, God, the ghosting. I can see that through the camera. That said, it's far more visible to my camera than it is to the naked eye. It disappoints me a little bit. I thought I was going to go through the exciting task of installing Windows 98 on this machine again. But no, apparently I already installed Windows 98. There's really not much to look at. It's just a bog standard build of Windows 98. Just all installed and good to go. Plug and play monitor on Chips Technology PCI. Well, you can go up to 800 by 600, which would be the native resolution of the screen. More reasonably, we can also go up to 16-bit colors. You're going to apply it without doing that. Shut up. Oh, I suppose either way, we can at least, since we already have a working version of Windows 98 here, we may as well at least do the efforts of installing all these crazy little drivers and whatnot. So the first thing to install is, of course, the Iomega Clik. Hallelujah! In English, French, Deutschland, and Japanese. Install Iomega software, or view the user's guide. I think we know what we want. Iomega license agreement. Yes. It doesn't matter. You guys are defunct anyway. Yeah, you know, they sold like a dock, which is a glorified PC MCIA card dock. It just so happens that it has the Iomega Clik logo on it. That's already installing the drivers. Yeah. Don't really need any of these things, given my actually limited space on this drive. Yeah, this computer sucks in some ways, because it is limited to a 7.67 gigabyte max. This is because it doesn't support 24-bit LBA. So I can't even get close to the 137 gigabytes that Windows 98 is technically limited to. I physically can't use any other drive because the peak is 7.67. So I have to, like... My only solution to get a bigger hard drive at this point is to just get, like, an adapter for an SD card or compact flash for, of course, the PETA. Yes, I want to restart my computer. Oh God, it's in the way. Oh shit. Just occurred to me, however, I've failed to install the actual Clik drive. Okay, well, suppose it'll be second time's the charm once I get going. Now, installing a Clik drive is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is pull this way, open the flap to your respective PC MCIA drive, and insert it, usually top side, with all these crazy pins going inwards. I'll put it in the top bay. Pretty good stuff. But of course, how do the Clik drives work with the Clik disks? Well, everything's just all about kind of mechanisms and whatnot. Here's as good of a shot as I can show you of the Clik drive itself. Yeah, you can see it's kind of this just black flap, but That is actually the door to it. Of course, an Iomega Clik drive. Goes in just like that, kind of like a floppy. The way it works is this little slider is pulled down, which opens up this flap, which then allows it to read the disk. Kind of like a floppy. It just kind of works like that. And whenever you're done, hopefully you've made sure that the system isn't trying to use it. You just wait for the click and pull it out. Easy. So with the Clik drive now actually installed and the drivers all set up, hopefully this will just go swimmingly. I can just... Oop. Hopefully you've heard that beep. That beep represents that the power to the PCMCI device has now been initialized. I should turn down the volume. Oh yeah, PC card services. It's your card bus, man. Clik drive. Quick start guide. Insert your driver disk. Insert your card. Wait a minute. Follow the on-screen instructions to install the driver in Iomega software. Slide the PC card into the PC card slot. Insert the Clik disk. Verify the drive letter. Your installation is now complete. I'm gonna let you finish. Oh, look at that! Look at that, look at that, look at that! That's a thing of beauty! So now in this position, we don't have much else we can do besides start installing drivers from the Clik disk. So... oh, yes! A lot of this is all just going to be drivers and software that I think is necessary for any person's growing Windows 98 platform. It's going to have all the drivers necessary, but it's also going to have, of course, in USB 33, as I mentioned earlier, the necessary thing for USB peripherals, a copy of RetroZilla, the de facto browser of choice, though on a machine of this caliber, you might want to stick to something a little bit weaker, something like Lynx for your terminal. A copy of 7-zip, because why would you not have 7-zip on a machine like this? I know WinZip and Renoir make the most sense, but 7-zip is just good and works with most of the things, so I'm not going to even bother. Well, you know what? It is using Windows drivers for everything, and it seems to be working just fine. Yeah, 423.99. This is just based on the versions built into Windows 98 2nd Edition. That said, we can go further, I think. I'm thinking we can. Not to that floppy drive, God no. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want you to try the God, don't waste my time. What? There you go, one folder back. No? I'm gonna guess the sound driver that's installed thanks to Windows 98 itself is fine. Yeah, you know what, I'll just... Yeah, forget it. You win this round. Keep yourself hydrated when you're doing these weird long projects. Okay, so what do I do now? Guess if I try that. C&D display driver. Chips and technology. Of course, you know, the Microsoft driver. This is the official driver. So regardless of what I say. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna install the friggin' Yamaha driver too. I don't care. OPL3 SAX sound system. Oh, good thing I have a director for that. So these two are done. This is for the LEDs. I don't really know why. It's a thing for your LEDs. Pretty sure it's just for like the LEDs to the computer itself at the bottom of the panel. Yeah, system LED. What's the point? Has finished copying files. No, I will restart later. cd-rom.dos. Oh, Jesus, what does this say? What? 2x, 4x, 6x, 18, 20? I believe I have a 20. It's copied to your C directory. The read move displayed 5 seconds. Oh, God. DOS CD-ROM driver 3.11 for all 20x and lower speed CD-ROM. This electronic archive are for use with and/or Windows 3. Not required or recommended for use with Windows 95 except to have access to your CD-ROM. Would install the exe file. I mean, I think I knew that, but I don't think I cared. That's going in the temp drive even. The mouse control software provides additional functionality to the standard Windows 95 mouse software running on Toshiba. Instead of making an easily accessible folder, they threw it into the Windows temp folder. Talks a lot about Windows 95. I'm wondering if technically these drivers could have worked just fine. I didn't think about it. Well, I'll try that in the future then. So I suppose in that case, I don't have to worry that much. Just be safe, we'll go back to the core. So we did that. We did this whole thing's done. This whole thing's done. Multi-keyboard. Yeah, let's just try and finish up what's left of the drivers itself. It's all about the bulk installation. Where did it go? What? Setup will start when extraction is complete. But then where are you extracting it to? Okay, well that's useless. It is implied to be USB setup, but I don't think this is going to help my situation. Windows Utilities setup. Welcome to the setup. See, Toshiba Windows Utilities, fine. No, I'll restart later. And finally, we have this thing. Okay, never mind. That's for flashing the BIOS. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Alright. Let's get into drivers. I think I should disconnect my mouse. Oh, this one's playing in temp anyway. In a minute, Mom. Retrozilla. Retrozilla, for those of you who don't know, is the closest thing we have right now to a modern browser being built to work under Windows 98. It's pretty much based on Mozilla code set, which in itself was based on Netscape Navigator. They're currently looking into getting the Gecko framework that's currently being used in Firefox to work under the older Mozilla codebase and therefore to work under Windows 98. Hopefully we get some progress on that. I know web development's a complicated process. I know I'm going through friggin' HTML and CSS nonsense like that. Why are you taking so long? Yeah, 21.0. Ooh. I am a custom kind of person. I don't really need my mail. I don't really need a spell check. Shotcell's a cute idea, but it's not going to be worth much. The debugger and the inspector. Actually, given HTML, I might tinker with running it on Windows 98 and see how that goes. Profile roaming. Don't need to report websites. Somehow this is a lot less complicated than I thought it would be. Probably just because I didn't have to install Windows 98 in the first place. That helps a lot. This video would probably be like 10 minutes longer in the process. Oh my goodness, it's Retrozilla. Wait, how's that gonna work? I don't have networking. What? Oh, well. I guess I can load up the changelog. Make it the default. And finally we'll finish with 7-zip, the most important application, in my opinion, that you should have on just about any computer that you can get your hands on. And we're done. It's all kind of pretty much going. Other than weird things like the keyboard, I guess. Looks like a lot of these drivers mentioned Windows 95 and such, so maybe I could still install Windows 95 on this machine. Just yet. Oh, video kind of looks sharper now. Even though I'm pretty sure it's still 800 by 600. Caps lock LED. That's just... What is the actual point? I'm pressing the caps lock, that's what that's doing. But... I should note... It already works. That's like actually the most pointless thing I've ever seen. Finesse? What the actual hell is that? What? So... I can assign, like, function keys that I guess I could use with the function key? What the hell? Oh my god, this is like the ultimate macro software. Hardware setup, what's this? Oh. That gives me a little bit more detail, I suppose. Whoa, okay. We got some detail here. What's going on? Yeah, we got a lot of different tabs. You must use Windows 95 Device Manager to change these settings. For serial. Fair enough. Let's use Windows 95 Device Manager for that. Select the operational mode of the AcuPoint and PS2 mouse. Auto-selected enables the AcuPoint only if a PS2 mouse is not connected at power on time. Fair enough. So a lot of these settings are kind of useless in the current scheme of things. So I basically have access to the entirety of my BIOS from this control panel. Okay, why is that not applied, frankly? Okay, well, guess, oh, well, there's my click drive anyway. I think I'm good, thanks. And there's the click drive, because it's all done. And of course, I guess the final thing we can try is using a USB stick on the device, now that I've got the USB drivers and all installed. It's not a very complicated situation. Just plug the USB right into there. See how Windows 98 fares. Oh, hey-oh. USB mass storage. Very good. Very good. Very good. And now, I think, should be able to just do this. And yeah, would you look at that? Not that I can do much, because I currently don't have any games on here. You listen to an MP3 though. Maybe. Oh yeah. Destruction Derby! Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video for whatever reason. It was just a little goofy project I was going to start and get my way into the all-tech dream. So with that said, thank you all for watching. My name is Justin. This has been an Ultimate Extreme video. And I will see you all next time for something. Y'all have a good day and night cycle.